convening to order state business meeting of the mayor and council town of Harrison scheduled for November the 17th, 2009. This meeting is a special meeting of Alcohol Roads and Compliance Laws and forward to the district in the area and follow the town clerk. Please stand for pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Bennett. Here. Donovan. Here. Doran. Here. Karangan. Here. Cadaglio.
Here.
McCormick.
Here.
Steve McCormick. Here. Nascimento. And Mayor McDonough.
All right, we have one ordinance on introduction.
If I could, I gave the council a new copy. Section 2, the first two sentences were taken out just to avoid any kind of confusion. So there was nothing added. The first two sentences, the first two lines of Section 2 were taken out. So it just reads down Section 2, ordinance number 866 shall in no way be effective hereby.
I'm sorry, Paul, can you repeat that again?
Right. The original ordinance that was sent out to the council from the website for Section 2, it contained the following language, which is now...
Section 2 on the old ordinance?
No.
Okay. Okay.
So Section 2 of the ordinance, the following words were taken out. Any and all ordinances inconsistent with any of the terms and provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such inconsistencies, except that. Those two lines were taken out, so it just will be, Section 2 will be ordinance number 866 shall in no way be effective hereby.
All right, clerk will read the ordinance by title, please.
Yes, Mayor. It's ordinance 1223, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 886 regarding public parking lots in the town of Harrison. That's all.
I'll entertain a motion.
Can you go over and explain to us what that means exactly?
We'll have the hearing on December the 1st.
Mayor, I would just
Clerk
like
will call the roll, please.
Mayor, let's hear what this is about.
Why are we coming here so we can speak about it?
Call the roll, please.
Yes, Mayor.
Paul?
1 second. Bennett. Donovan. Doran. Karangan. Cadaglio. Maria McCormick.
No.
Steve McCormick.
No.
Nascimento.
Yes.
And Mayor McDonough.
Yes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion public session.
Any questions pertaining to this ordinance will be here heard on...
I know, there's a public session, I'm not discussing the ordinance.
Yes. Yeah, let's get a roll on the
Is
adjournment.
this a public meeting or what?
You have to have a public session in the meeting.
Let's go.
Stop this, would you?
I don't understand why it is
Say,
you're afraid of a public session.
jeez.
You got the microphone, John, speak.
Okay, I have a question on whether or not we've recovered any monies from Mr. Tansky with respect to the parking meters.
Paul, please.
Mayor, at this point, we have the judgment docketed against Mr. Tansky, which is a statewide lien on any property he has or may acquire. We have not gotten any money back yet, but efforts will continue.
We filed suit, is that?
What happened was we docketed, John, the judgment from the criminal action that became a statewide lien on his assets.
So we have a civil judgment now?
Yes.
For $100,000?
I believe it was $95,000.
$95,000? Okay, what efforts are we, who's in charge of trying to collect that?
I guess that would be me. Besides filing the lien as a judgment, and like I said, it's a lien now on all his assets, I still have to get in the process of trying to collect that money.
I urge that we, hire a asset search person, determine what assets he has, and then execute on the assets. And or some of an information subpoena as to what his assets are. But we should attempt to collect that money as soon as possible. The other comment or question I have is why are we having another special session when we had a regular meeting and that meeting was canceled?
This came up after our last meeting, and I wanted to get on the agenda for tonight so we could have it on the December 1st council meeting.
Okay, I understand that, but there was a meeting from last Thursday, there was a regularly scheduled meeting, so between last, let's say Wednesday, and today, I guess, why are we having special meetings when we have regular meetings scheduled?
Because I wanted to get on the agenda. This came up after last Wednesday.
Okay. The other question I have is why are we having a special meeting at 4 o'clock rather than having it at 7 o'clock?
Because it's only an introduction on ordinance, on the reading, the first reading.
I
There's
know.
no discussion on it.
Well, it's a public session, just like I'm here, I happen to be able to get out of my office and, and be here fortuitously, but people who work at
Well,
least until 5.
I wouldn't really expect people coming to comment on an ordinance that's just on introduction. The ordinance will be heard, the hearing will be heard on December 1st.
Okay,
At the
so-
regular town council meeting.
Well, the public session on the ordinance, but we're still having a meeting at a time when most people in town of Harrison are still working. And
Well, John,
for transparency
I
purposes,
really didn't expect many people to come to this for an ordinance on introduction.
I know, but that's not the point. The point is,
All right, you're making-
if you make the meeting at 4 o'clock, not many people are gonna show up. That's the purpose. So what's the difference between 4 and 7 o'clock? It's 3 hours. To people who may wanna come and make a public comment like I'm making, or ask a question, or do something of that nature, it's 7 o'clock, you're more likely to get those people. And I think that what it leaves is the perception that we're just rushing through stuff, and we're doing stuff so people don't know what's going on. And that is a problem to me. I think transparency is very important. Whether this ordinance is on introduction, or if there's something else on the agenda, the meeting should not be a special meeting in the first place. Second, it should be at a time when people can make it. 7 o'clock is a normal council meeting. That's why meetings in town of Harrison were set up for Tuesdays at 7 o'clock every month. If they thought noontime or 4 o'clock was good, they would have done that years ago. Obviously, people are working.
The key word there is transparency, you're right, John. That's the problem here.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you.
John.
My name is Paul Schaffhauser. I'm here on behalf of M&J Comprilli, and I have a couple of questions as well. It would appear that the ordinance's purpose is to allow private commuter parking lots to be shut down, which it would appear contradicts the town's own parking study a number of years ago, in which the town's own expert opined that the parking needs in the town for commuters would increase. So I guess my question is, on what basis is this ordinance being proposed consistent with any purpose?
Mayor, I believe the hearing's going to be on December 1st, so we're not prepared to answer the questions at this time.
The hearing will be December 1st. You're gonna come December 1st. If you come December 1st, you'll have your answers.
That's the reason for the hearing, Council.
Well, we have a group of people here who would like some.
They can come December 1st, we'll have the hearing, and they can ask their questions and get their
Well,
answers.
this could be a preliminary session.
This is no preliminary, this is an introduction on,
Mr. Mayor, with every respect, it seems to me that you mentioned that something came up after the last session which necessitated this meeting. I guess my question is, what came up which necessitated this emergency meeting?
Mayor, if I could, under the Open Public Meetings Act, and as John Pino correctly pointed out, there's a portion of the meeting that's set aside for public comment. The public comment is there for members of the public to comment to the people in the assembly. It's not a question and answer session for the council. Under state law, we have to have a first reading for the ordinance, which we just had, and we're going to have a second reading and a hearing, which will be advertised in the newspaper. It'll be on December 1st, and that's the proper time for people to ask the questions on the ordinance. So at this time, this is the public portion. People can make public comments, but it's not a forum whereby questions and answers, can go back and forth. That would, I think, be more proper for the hearing on the ordinance, which will be on December 1st.
Well, I appreciate that. In that case, I'd like to avail my opportunity to make a public comment. And the public comment is, as Mr. Pino pointed out, that there has been no explanation or transparency with respect to this proposed ordinance. And it would seem to me that the purpose of the ordinance is to decrease the availability of commuter parking in the town while causing a deprivation of the 15% commuter parking tax, which would seem to me to be exactly contrary to any legitimate public purpose. And by the way, all without due notice to the owners of the parking units that we're here talking about. So that's my comment.
Okay,
And I respectfully.